Hey everybody, it's Gioni, and today I'm working with this shelf. We moved in about 6 months ago, and it was winter, and I didn't really want to mess with anything. There's a lot of other stuff that needed to be done before I mess with the shelf. But as you can see, there's not much bracing going on. It's sagging in the middle. The bracing that it does have is really flimsy. The 2x4 is barely into the wall, and it's not connected to anything except for just the wall and the shelf. And then the 1x4 in the back is just on with nails. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing apart. I'm gonna reuse as much wood as I can, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. When you're measuring your 2x4s, you want to make sure you have one piece the depth of your shelf, the other piece an inch and a half shorter than that. Your 45 you could cut either way, it's up to you. Just make sure you either measure, use a squared plus b squared is c squared, or for example, you have a 12-inch depth shelf, you're going to have a 12-inch, 10.5-inch, and about a 17-inch 45. When you're putting on your brackets, leave the 45 piece off, attach the other two pieces with the longer piece on top. Put one screw through the middle, use a level to line it up vertically, then put your other screws in, and then attach your 45. These are to the side. These screws are to the side and not in the middle of the bracket because the bracket is so close to the breaker box, but the rest of them will go through the middle. So you want to make sure you leave your 45 off because otherwise you won't be able to get your drill in there. So this is where I'm currently at. I reused the shelf board itself. I just flipped it over and put some screws through the top to make sure that it stayed. I have some extra bracing between the brackets to make sure there wasn't any sag. Probably didn't need it, but just to be safe. And then I have some of the leftover 1x4 up, kind of cut out into little blocks to act as a frame for my pegboard. I'm going to put that up and I'll show you what that looks like. I actually ended up using a couple drywall anchors, one on top, one on the bottom, because there wasn't anything else for me to drill into, and then I needed a little more support. But the last thing I need to do is just get everything back on here. While I'm in the garage, I'll show you how I organize my yard tools for cheap. You don't have to go spend a bunch of money on rail systems. That was a 1x2 or 1x3 sitting there that wasn't holding much, so I put a 2x4 up there, put some cheap hooks in there. The little peg thing up there was already there, so I kept that, but those are just basically smaller versions of the ladder hooks that are to the left of it. But hopefully this helps, and let me know if you have any questions. See you next time.